Hi, are you the woman that has done everything, right? Quotation marks, the food, the supplements, the sleep routines, the meditation, the yoga. Yeah, I know I have. I know Byrd has. Are still exhausted. Yeah, been there, done that. And I'm not talking because I had one stressful night or my kid was up sick. I'm talking like every night, every day, exhausted. Nothing seems to work and exhausted. And you're still struggling to figure out how to solve this, what to do, maybe how to get better sleep, right? Optimizing all the routines and protocols. Let's step back and introduce ourselves. I'm Annie Vinya, and I'm an integrative health practitioner, 500-hour yoga teacher, meditation teacher. And I'll let Byrd introduce herself. She's been on before, but just wanted to
Which
again.
it is my favorite.
Yes.
I'm Byrd. I live in Bend, Oregon, and I am a integrative health practitioner as well. I am a personal trainer with specialties in Pilates, strength and conditioning. I currently teach Legree, and then I personal train at a physical therapy office, working around hypermobility and pelvic floor dysfunction.
So when we talk about the exhaustion, I think a huge part of that, if you are in a woman body or identify as a woman, feeling safe is a huge thing. And I think the older I get and the more I figure out for myself as well as my clients is safety. It has been a big topic, not only in the news and culture, but also as women, friendships, clients, about where and when do you feel truly safe, A, to be in your body or just to be yourself anywhere. And so a mundane example I give is the grocery store in the middle of the day, right? Do you go to the grocery store and do you feel safe in your body to take up space with your cart? Do you feel safe to go slow and touch fruit and vegetables, smell it, pick it up, decide if you want it, put it back? And I'm not talking about those days when you're rushed and you have 2 minutes to grab the two things for dinner, right? Because that's a
Right?
different thing. I'm talking about every time you go, do you feel safe there in your body to be seen, to take up space? And I would say for myself, until recently, no, never. I realized that the minute I walk out my door, I am not safe. I am not in my body. I don't want to be seen. And I'm not talking here just this podcast with like more people than normal. I'm talking like, again, the grocery
Mhm.
store, walking down my street to the mailbox. And if we don't feel safe to be in our bodies or to be seen, how can we ever feel safe enough to get the right amount of sleep, to intuitively eat, to exercise the way our bodies want to be moved, to know which supplements are best for us without it all being in our heads all the time, analyzing, overthinking, doing that masculine thing. And then let me back up a second. And you guys have heard me say this before, but every person, I believe, is a masculine and a feminine side. Some people are just more masculine, some people are more feminine, and it doesn't matter the body parts you have on you. We just are. And the ideal is to have a balance. And definitely it's a practice, it's a daily thing to balance them, but it's that yin and yang, right? And so I think in all our culture, I have been taught since I was a kid that the feminines were too much, right? We've heard this a lot. Feminine is too much, too emotional, too overwhelming, too scary, too much feeling, just too much. So shut it down, put it away, get in your masculine, get really good at doing. And with all the stuff on our plate as women, mothers, jobs, leaders, households, kids, pets, et cetera, et cetera. We have a lot on our plate anyway. So we have to be in our masculine to get it all done. But with all that being said, do you ever be like, oh, I got to get in my body? And when I'm in my body, do I feel okay there?
Right.
I'd love to hear your viewpoints on this.
Yeah, it's interesting because just this week I've had 2 clients come in and I've literally said, before I can help you build strength, I need to get you comfortable in your own body. I need you to feel safe. And then once you feel safe, and you understand that you're comfortable and your body is going to treat you well, you're going to treat it well, then we can work on building the strength. But until you have that safeness, I'm not going to be able to really get you to where you want to be. So it's been an interesting theme this week in my work and talking about how do we make you feel safe. And so a lot of what I've been doing this week in work is we do an exercise and then I'm like, okay, stop and pause. Walk around for a second. Tell me, how did that feel? Did that feel good for your body? Did it not feel good for your body? Are you liking this movement? Does the movement need to be slower? Does it need to be a little bit different? And after every exercise, okay, check back in. Check.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing this rise, I feel like, because I do work predominantly with women and because they have pelvic floor issues, this rise of women not feeling like they're safe in their own skin.
Yeah. And I think all of us as women have had that incident or multiple incidents where between the catcalls or the touching, the hands, the sexual assault, the sexual harassment, worse, right? That we don't feel safe in our bodies no matter what, because we know that could happen at any time when we go out. And I have to be honest, the only time I ever feel safe going out is when I have my really big, scary looking dog. I know no one's going to mess with me when he's there.
Yeah. And isn't that interesting that I'm always like, I talk about with my family, when I go out on the code orange. You know what? I'm not really ever at a code yellow or a code green where I just am like, easy breezy. I'm always, okay, what's up ahead? Who's behind? We kind of live in this society where we're all like, as women, we're always checking our environments. And I even find that sometimes with my younger boys, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
They're checking that environment. And so it's not that our world has set us up for a place where we can go take those leisurely walks like we used to. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I think that's so true. And I think a lot of people, if you have not been through that situation, have no idea that is going on, not just at night when it's dark, that it's going on in the middle of the day, any time of day, right?
Yeah.
No matter where you are. And so I think that automatically puts us get in our heads because we have to analyze and think about who's there, what's going on in our environment. And then if our bodies are being attacked by these other individuals, then our body's a scary place, right? And I think unless you're able to work with that, overcome it, figure that out, it is not a safe place to be. And I think, totally honest, vulnerable here, as a redhead woman with curves, my body has not been safe for years and years and years and years. I think I was 12, maybe the last time I felt before 12, actually, it's probably like 10 or 8 or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like that was part of my podcast last week was like, I don't even know when I stopped being in my body and being in my feminine because I'm out.
Yeah. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a point where you're like, that was it? I'm out, done.
I don't know that I have the exact age, but high schoolish.
Yeah.
I remember walking and it was in a tank top or some sort and leaving and being like, I'm not doing that again. Real uncomfortable.
Yeah. Mine was white t-shirts. I did not wear white t-shirts for years.
Right.
Yeah. I get it.
So, and on that path, what I sometimes find with women too is women who also have autoimmune issues or who have been chronically ill, equally not feeling safe in their bodies because their bodies seem to be always coming after them.
Yes.
And so I think it's the setup of society, it's chronic illness, it is autoimmunity, it is those kind of things, it is which most women have a version of some of that and them not feel safe.
Yeah. And I even think if we have told ourselves, if our minds create our own reality and our minds have told us our bodies are not safe, then our bodies create these autoimmune diseases to basically confirm that reality, right? You can get totally woo-woo here.
I love, go for it.
But that kind of makes sense to me is like we create our reality. We are so powerful. We have no idea how powerful we are that when we create these realities and then we do things and we're like, oh my gosh. So I guess going back to the bigger question of like, when do you feel safe? I will say that I've just started now that I'm realizing I am never feel fully safe in my body. How am I starting to work with that? And I think that's something that everyone has to figure out what works for them. But I am realizing because I'm so much in my masculine, how do I even start to get in my body? And I will say I only have done this at home when I feel safe, is like just to get in my body, especially like for me, my lower belly, you can call it the womb, whatever area, and just sit there and feel. And
Yeah.
not for long, but it's okay if I actually feel like I'm getting in my body and sit there and hang out. And what does that even look like? Right? What does that feel like? Am I trying to jump out every single second? Or am I okay to just, yeah, hang out there and chill?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel like you take certain parts of the day, like you tell your clients to?
Yeah. We're our own worst critics,
Yes.
our own worst enemies. I don't know how to say that. But yeah, no, I would say that while I often am describing that to my clients, me doing it for myself is not a practice that I tap into as much as I should, if I'm being honest and vulnerable. But I do find that I try to take some time, I would say each day, because I take a bath every night before I go to bed. And like just kind of sit there and be. My favorite thing is to read in the bath, but sometimes I'm like, I just need to put the book down
Yeah.
and just like light the candle and just feel like I'm there.
Yes. Yes. I think like the candle, like that beauty, right? There are certain things the feminine needs to feel safe or trusted. And one of that is beauty, right? And I think it doesn't have to be this huge thing. It could just be a simple candle that smells good or looks good or just you like the light of it, right? And that can be a lot for us to just connect with that part of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And finding those moments where you can connect with that feminine,
Yes.
you know? And I don't I because as women we are doing so many things and we have checklists and to-dos and running around and managing, finding that feminine and that beauty is so difficult.
So difficult. And just to slow down enough to even appreciate, even if there's something beautiful in front of your face, right? So
Yes.
appreciate it when you've
Yes.
got all the things you're doing. It's so hard.
I just listened to a really interesting talk on Ayurvedic medicine, and they were talking about the feminine and the aging and coming into perimenopause and menopause and feeling safe in your body, and how that time of your life is supposed to be like your quieter dosha. It's supposed to be where you wind down and you start to relax a little bit and you pass the torch on and you kind of start to let yourself have those moments of enjoyment. And the discussion was that we have set ourselves up in society that we don't allow that to happen anymore. We don't allow ourselves as older women to pass the torch. We're still moving at this faster pace. We're trying to still accomplish what we were accomplishing in our late 20s, early 30s. And that equally ties in with we're avoiding the feminine. That was so good.
Yeah, that's really good. I think if you were to like look at that and like the, I'm also realizing as I'm going through perimenopause and helping my clients that this all these symptoms that are popping up for all of us in perimenopause, no matter what they are, our body's screaming at us. It is finally your time. Excuse my language, fucking take it.
Yeah.
If you need to slow down, because a lot of the clients I'm helping don't feel like they can, don't feel like they can be put on the list yet to help themselves, don't feel like they could be even first on the list yet. And at 45, 46, so on, you better be on that list, if not first. And that's what your body is telling you. Enough. You've given it to everybody else. It is your time now. We're going
Tap,
to make it your time. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable.
you're gonna be miserable. Tap back into yourself.
Yeah.
Tap back into your body. Take time and like, how does my body feeling?
Yes.
And I feel like that's been the theme of what I've been hearing for the last couple of weeks. It's just this real, I don't feel connected. I'm not safe. I'm doing too much. I'm moving too much. I'm not slowing down. I don't know how to slow down, those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think with the We're told to rest and we rest, but is it truly rest? And you and I have talked about this, right? Scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or whatever your social media is, or watching a movie on Netflix are not necessarily nourishing rest. Yes, you might not be running around, driving everywhere, doing all the things, but is it nourishing? And I realize that for myself completely. I can get down that rabbit hole of watching whatever I'm watching and just like, but then I wake up and I'm like, I don't even really know if that felt like true rest.
Yeah.
For me, as I get older and I've been listening to a few podcasts on mindset, I think mindset is such a huge part of this, what we're talking about today. And for me, it's realizing that I can't fail because the universe has my back. And I am not religious, but the more I allow myself to get into my spirituality of the universe has my back, whatever you want to call it, universe, source, God, goddess, but it has my back and I can't fail. No matter what I do, I can't fail. And there is someone, whether it happens to what I think is good or bad, it is either a lesson for me to learn or a success. And either way, it should be looked at as a success. So I can't fail. And if I tell myself the universe has my back no matter what, then when I walk out on the street and I tell myself that, and I'm doing this literally, telling myself,
I love this.
the universe has my back. The universe has my back. Faith in the universe. Then I actually can let go a little bit and get into my body and be okay. Now, is this a daily practice? No. Should it be? Yes. Right. Is this something that I need to work on a lot more? For sure. But I am feeling like for the first time ever, and I'm 48, that I can actually get in my body outside my house and feel like I'm not going to freak out and get back into my head. And I've also been dancing in my closet.
Please tell me more. Tell me more.
So I was one of those things where I was like, after the nourishing, I'm not nourishing when I'm resting. Like, how do I do that? And one of those AI rabbit holes, asking questions, getting answers. And it was like, what about dancing? Because I love to dance. I danced about like
Same.
kid. Yeah, I love to go and just dance to fun music. I'm always dancing in the kitchen. And it was like, what about just dancing? And I was like, gosh, I haven't danced in a long time. Even just in my kitchen, I haven't done that. And so I was like, I should just start doing that because that really does make me feel in my body. So put on some fun music and just feel my body and dance. It's something so simple that takes whatever, 2-3 minutes, however long the song is. But I actually do feel like there is more feminine in me coming up and just in the little things, right? And again, I don't get to it every day. I should, but I don't want it to be this thing that hangs over my head, just another protocol to do, right? Because that's more masculine. It's like when my body's like, go dance. Oh, okay, you're right. I need to go dance.
Coming back into kind of who you are. It's almost as if it's like a rediscovery, a season of rediscovery. And I think that is partially what perimenopause is. Brene Brown, who calls it like a reawakening. Like, it's this time and season where it's a rebirth of yourself, essentially, and rediscovering who you are and rediscovering what feels good for your body and tapping back into yourself. And I think, and I hope that we're starting to see this swing in women starting to do that.
Yes.
Instead of the resist and the push, I don't want that. Embracing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think finally realizing that to take that back, a lot of the people I've been talking to, if you are okay taking care of yourselves or reawakening or doing the things for yourself, being like, I'm doing this stuff for me. Like simple, no one else likes this dinner, but I like this dinner. So I'm going to make this dinner. And if you guys don't want it, don't. Just go make your own dinner. You're old enough now to go make your own dinner. But I'm making it because I like it.
Because it sounds good to me.
Whereas before, I would have been like, oh, I just won't make it. Even though I like it, I won't make it because no one else likes it. And they all complain and blah, 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 right? Trying to appease everybody else but me.
But you've been doing that for 20 some odd years.
Exactly. Right? It's our time.
It's our time. And I think what I would love to see within like the wellness community and the space is women re-embracing that feminine side, that reawakening, that tapping back into who they are instead of this push of like, oh, I don't want it. It's like an onion. You peel back one layer and there's the next one you got to deal with. And you peel it. And I don't know that we ever stop appealing because we become so many different versions of ourselves.
Yeah. Instead, and I think I really truly believe that if we are only in our masculine, we're only in half of our person. Masculine is mostly mental. And if we are not in our bodies, then we are not able to hear that intuition that our body gives us, whether it's those gut signals we get, whether it's that knowing, whatever you want to call it. But I think stuff like intuitive eating, and you've got to be in your body to be like, is my body full? If not, I'm going to keep eating, especially if it's like cake, because all that sugar, you just keep eating.
Right.
And then you've eaten too much and are like, oh, that was too much. But if you had it in your body before, listening, checking in, can I do one more bite or should I stop? Am I full? Those kind of things. I think those are the things that if you can get into your body, can actually be healing ourselves way more than if we weren't.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago being in a situation and talking to a friend, and she's, what's your intuition telling you? And I was like, I'm so out of tune with my intuition. I don't know what my intuition is telling me. That's why I'm coming to you. I need you to help me figure out what my intuition is telling me because I am stuck. And realizing to myself, wow, I don't even know. I couldn't even know what I needed in that situation without having someone walk me through it and being like, I did not like that. That answer was in me and I could not discover it. Yeah. It brought me to a place where I'm like, wow, I need to take some time in my head and connect my head and my heart and let that have a conversation instead of just being here.
And as we know in the health world, our gut actually sends more signals to our brain than our brain sends to our gut. Our gut is working twice as much as our brain does. And I think about that a lot when I think about how I'm not connected to my body. If I'm not connected to my body and my gut is sending all the signals, and there's obviously a connection. I'm alive, I'm working, I'm here, but there's that intuition hit of what could I be getting deeper from this? Not just intuitive eating, health reasons. Do I move this way or that way? Do I turn left here? And I'm not talking just literal, I'm talking figuratively too, right? Yeah, so much.
So much. So if you were giving tips and tricks to someone, like I know everyone has to find their own path, but if you were talking to someone and they were like, that's yes, what would be like some things that you would be like, here's what I want you to try. Here's something you can listen to, or here's something you can read. Like, how would you guide people to start to find this path for themselves?
Yeah. And I think like integrative health coaching, it's such a personal path. I think you first have to figure out how much are you in your body? And when you're in your body, how safe do you feel there? And depending on those answers, I think then that has to start up, like you said, a conversation with yourself, the mind and the heart or heart and gut or whatever it is, right? To get them to start to figure out what is my body telling me? What am I needing to do here? Right. Because dancing for me is personal, but not everyone was going to want to go out and dance. But right? How do you connect back with your body? How do you feel safe in your body? How do you get to a point where you're walking in the store in the middle of the day and feel okay to be seen? And I think part of that comes with age. But I also think the sooner you can do it, the easier any transition, let alone perimenopause, menopause will be.
Yeah,
Would you
I love
say?
that. Like I tell my clients, I want awareness. I think I say this often, but I just want awareness. And so I try to get my clients to take the steps of doing something and pausing.
Yeah.
Doing something and pausing. Do an exercise. How did it feel? When you're doing the dishes, I often have this conversation because so many women with pelvic floor have an issue with dishes. But if you're doing the dishes, stop in the middle of your dishes and check in with your body. What's clenched? What feels good? What is uncomfortable?
Yes.
And so just taking pauses and moments in the middle of the day where you're like, what is happening in my body and where am I feeling tension? Where do I feel safe? Where do I feel like I'm clenching, holding on to, and starting to work through that?
Yes.
And what I love for them to do is like, when I see them again, I'm like, okay, so tell me this week, where did you feel like you were clenching, holding? Where did you feel safe? And so they kind of have to report back to me like they have checked in.
Yes.
And so we can kind of start that conversation and that feedback.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. 'Cause that's so practical, right? Yeah. When you check in.
Yeah. And so but I think we don't check in with ourselves. And really that is step one, is like checking in with how you're feeling in your day to day.
Yeah. So I think walking away from this, check in, right? Get awareness. What do you feel? And when you check in with your body, what's clenched, what hurts, what feels good. Also, maybe start to do it a couple times a day and just start to figure out if it's clenched, do I feel safe? Do I feel okay? Do I feel good? Where am I? Those kind of questions I think will help a lot. I want to thank you for joining me, Byrd. Always awesome to have you on.
Thank you.
Here. And thanks you guys for joining us. If you feel comfortable, definitely put yourself down below. If you are exhausted, I have a checklist and it ties into all of this. You can get it free on my website. It does take you a few minutes. There'll be links below for that. And if you're really wanting to go that next step, there's a strategy session. It's just 1 hour and we can start to talk about these things and make it really personal for you. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks.